These are a couple of my pictures from, this was, I think, '07. It's like Nationals or Quincy Roberts, maybe. I was prepping.
Damn. Insane.
But it was around 250 pounds there, so.
What's up, guys? Steven here with Super Fitness. We are driving to my buddy's gym because we are starting a new video series and we are going to showcase gyms that I have personally set up. Some of these will be local, some of these people will be around the world. This is going to be really cool for me to not only let you see what I've done, but see successful gyms that we've set up of all different kinds, different equipment, different areas of the world. And we will film the gym owner, let you get his input on things that he has done within the gym. So I'm excited to showcase this, and I'm excited for you to see some of the work that I've done, because it's kind of sad, but I never get to showcase my work or really get to go to a lot of the gyms. So I'm excited to do this. We're going to Statesville, North Carolina. This is a 20-year friend of mine, and I will get more into depth of that when we get there, but I will say this. The owner's name is Joe. He's been a personal friend of mine for 20 years. The first time I met Joe or seen Joe, he was on national level bodybuilding, 300 plus pounds. This was 2003, 2004, and I was like, who is this big joker? And at the time, I wanted to be like Joe. So not only is he like a brother to me, he's done my diet before, he's been one of my best friends for almost 20 years, and I'm excited to showcase his gym because Joe lives and breathes weightlifting, bodybuilding, fitness, and he is that guy that is good for the sport. So when we get here, we will interview Joe, and I'm excited for everybody to meet him in his gym. Joe Barker.
How you doing, man?
What's up, brother? How are you?
All right, brother.
Good.
How you been?
I would literally come to this very gym that he owns now to train with him. He was like the big dog on the scene. What would you say, Joe, you were?
Well, at the time, yeah. I was a big guy.
Show us the pictures. Yeah, pull out the pictures.
Okay. These are a couple of my pictures from, this was, I think, '07. It's like Nationals or Quincy Roberts, maybe. I was prepping.
Damn. Insane.
But it was around 250 pounds there, so I looked pretty decent for an old guy back then, but I was in my 30s then, so. But yeah, we've known each other forever, and it's been awesome. Steve's been a great friend.
So the cool part about me doing this with Joe, we talked about him opening a gym for years and years and years. And every time, I mean, I remember from like, I mean, gotta be 10 years ago.
Oh God,
from Myrtle Beach opening up.
Longer than that.
But Joe's gonna open a gym, something happened. Joe's gonna open a gym, something happened. Just always something. And then, I guess what, Joe, about 2 years ago now?
Actually, it's been about 4 years.
That it came to fruition.
Well, it's been about 4 years, been looking. Really looking, you know, for years. We wanted to. About 3 or 4 years ago, we really started slamming it, looking for places to lease, places to buy. Something would always happen. Like literally, we got right to the table pretty much at one place. 2 weeks out, getting ready to sign the lease, and the guy's like, oh, I think I'm gonna stay. So that one got all screwed up. Well, turns around, me and my training partner were looking somewhere else to train here in Statesville. There was a couple other places. There was like one place didn't have the equipment we needed, so we weren't gonna go there. Another place too far to drive, wasn't gonna go there. So I was like, let's go on back over to Joel's, which this used to be Joel Elliott's gym, Olympic Health Club. This was the very first gym I ever stepped foot in my life, which is ironic too, because
this is where I trained with him, y'all, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And when I walked back in the first time, it looked identical to when I trained with Joe.
And when I trained, yeah. This was the first real gym I ever stepped foot in when I was 19. it's really ironic. This is probably going to be the last gym I ever step out of.
That's okay.
Talked to Joel, the previous owner, and asked him if he'd want to sell, and he's like, I think it's time. I think it's time for me to retire. And Joel, his old school mass monster bodybuilder. He competed with Tom Platz, Paul DeMayo. He competed with the big guys, Jim Quinn. He's been on stage with those. He is a professional wrestler. And he just said he thinks it's time. So we was able to work out a deal, and we was able to make it happen. And
so
I was able to get Steven's help.
Joe calls me saying, I got the perfect spot. I think it's really going to happen this time. And so he's like, when can you come up? So I drove up maybe a week or two later, met him right here, him and his wife. And I remember walking around, and that's when the owner is sitting at the counter, and he's like, I remember you. I was like, you do? And I was like, yeah, I used to come here and train. And that's when I realized the place looked almost identical. I walked around and I'm like, Joe, we got a lot of work to do, but this is the perfect location. And so that's just when Joe made the deal happen. Joe bought the building and business, and that's when we started implementing a strategy for what needs to be done. I think what we need to do is walk around and show what we did. So I think it's important to see, because this gym has a lot of cool features, and what's really cool is an outdoor facility that we will show as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're the only gym in the area with an outdoor gym. When we very first started, everything was carpet. It was like indoor, outdoor carpet. There was only like 2 little TVs up on the hanging from the ceiling.
So cute.
The counters were good, but they were just a little outdated. So we took, and with Steven's help, we took it, brought in all updated equipment, Life Fitness, Hammer Strength, Precor, Arsenal, you know. So we got, with Steven's help, his guys, that was a long day. Woo! We had 2 53-foot semis, 2 26-foot box trucks, and a 24-foot open trailer. Roll into the parking lot. See, I had my tractor out there and a few buddies, and as we unloaded it, as soon as it hit the ground, Steven's crew would roll it in and set it up. And I mean, they did an awesome job. They set up virtually every piece where it's at is where they set it. We've only actually moved around a few pieces. So we put mostly plate loaded stuff against the mirrors and selectorized these next 2 rows. Where I did add in a couple pieces, the kneeling leg curl and the Arsenal side lateral. We did have a smaller squat rack up here, but we brought the bigger one up here as we added a bigger one in the back. We got our 8-way jungle, and like I said, all this was carpet. It looked terrible. It worked, but it was stained. It just looked terrible for a gym, for the gym that I envisioned anyway.
And Joe, hang on one second. I want to let everybody know something that everybody should know. When this was taking place, a gym owner is stressed. So not only is this one of my best friends, but he was also my client. Everything's got to happen in phases. We've done the initial setup with all the equipment, and the gym looked amazing. And the one thing I hated, and the guys, my crew, hated, and Joe himself hated, was the carpet. And we were like, fuck. I wish we would have changed the carpet. But hear me out. It's a problem of money. It's this, it's that. It cost a lot of money. The concrete floors Joe told me to have them polished was $10,000. So this is not cheap to do. So at that point, sometimes you just got to implement in stages. And I always express this to my clients is make sure that you just always put on your vision board little things that you're going to do. And Joe started implementing as soon as the people started rolling in. Yep. And that's what you do. Keep going, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because when we started, like I said, every bit of it was carpet. So we stopped right here originally with the mats, and all this was carpet. So I don't know, it was what, about 3 or 4 months later?
Probably.
Something like that. So I was like, to hell with it. We're going to do it all the way out. So called Steven up. I was like, I need more mats. He's like, okay.
And Joe's redneck, and so Joe's got diesel trucks and trailers, plenty of them.
So I got plenty of shit. So I came, we loaded it, hauled it up here, had a couple buddies come up here late night, and Steven's not bullshitting. It was.
Oh my God.
When you want to talk about stress, when I took the gym over, we were open until lunchtime on April 1st. We closed at 12 o'clock and we started cleaning, we started moving stuff, painting, all kinds of shit.
Guys worked, when I tell you got to make chicken shit in the chicken salad, the guy not only worked his ass off, but I want to express, he had some instrumental people who were friends of his that were here free of charge to help. And that's what it takes sometimes in business, is to literally have people who want to help you help. And Scott's one of them.
Scott, Chris, my buddy Chris here, he helped me a lot. That whole week, we were closed for 2 weeks. Closed down for 2 weeks. It was Chris, Scott, Jake, my wife, I got another friend, Brandon, his wife, my wife and her, and my buddy Brandon's wife, they pretty much laid the floors in the bathroom. They laid down the tiles in the floors, did most of the painting. Chris and Scott finished the painting in the bathrooms. We did all this we painted. This was burgundy and kind of like a cream.
And what, 30 years old?
Yeah.
Original
25, 30
paint.
years old. So we brought everything in. And like I said, I've added a couple pieces since our initial, like the Dynabody's chest press, a landmine in the corner. But
so this is a really cool feature of this gym. This is another whole area of plate load, turf, jungle gym back here in his racks with the monolift. So this gym, I wouldn't even just consider a bodybuilding gym. You can power lift, you can do CrossFit, you can do a number of things. We wanted to literally make everybody feel welcome, and I don't want to take the credit for it because this was Joe's vision. I just tried to steer him in the right direction.
I mean, no lie, I've got notebooks, 20 years old of ideas, drawings, sketches, written down, and just all life happens,
Hang on one second, Joe.
Going on too.
The first time I come, we're back in this room. It's me, him, his wife, and their kid who's a baby. And we're back here, and Joe envisions this room as childcare and studio. Yep. And I said,
we were going to do childcare. I had planned, no shit. I had planned on doing martial arts, yoga, and Pilates. And then like this area over here was going to be like daycare. So,
and I said, Joe, I said, I know you. And I said, I absolutely think that's the wrong move. Not that I have children, not that I don't think the kids, but I said, I knew Joe would want the badass shit in his gym. And it was either space or have childcare and classes. And so we went the different route, and I would think it's been a good move.
Yeah, it has. Well, I think the main thing, no shit, we were sitting right over there. There was like a wooden step box over there. Yeah, we were sitting there and Steve was like, so what if your daycare person calls out sick or just don't want to come in? It's like, are you going to load the kids up? Are you going to have your wife load the kids up and come watch those kids? I was like, fuck no, I ain't watching all those
kids. And Jamie's in the corner and she said, good luck, big boy, because I'm not doing it either.
Yeah, she's like, I ain't doing that. She's like, maybe once, that'll be done.
That's right.
So we did go. This idea back here was Steven's idea, and I'm glad we went with his idea. Steven was almost dead set against me getting a Dynabody monolift. He's like, why the hell do you need a monolift? He's like, you know what that's for? I was like, yeah, it's for big squatting. He was like, but why? I said, because I want some big shit.
I had it custom brought in for him.
And it's been great. I've got 2 world record setting powerlifters that actually train here. We will do it mostly in a rack. They do it, I think, on a freestand, but we're actually going to be the host gym for our area Special Olympics kids. So me and my 2 guys, we're going to be training the Special Olympics kid for powerlifting. So that's pretty awesome. So
yeah, this room, I want to let everybody know, like, it's got really good, some old school equipment, some new, like the Cybec squat press, glute drive, pitch shark. Everybody knows Arsenal pendulum squat. When I tell you, Joe was very big on this. God, Steven, I gotta have X amount of room and walkways and this and that, but me walking in here again for the first time in upwards of a year.
Yep.
It looks amazing. There's plenty of room. And now Joe, I think, realizes that, I mean, honestly, Joe, you could still fit more equipment if you really wanted to.
I think we're going to move a couple things around. I've really only got like one more piece I want to put in here and like 2 or 3 more outside.
So that's what I was going to get at. Joe tells me, hey, Steven, what will you give me for some of the old shit that's in here? In on trade or whatever. And I'm like, Joe, I think you need to keep that shit. This is my exact words. And we kind of went, I said, man, I'm really seeing a lot of gyms open up some outdoor spaces. And let me explain to everybody, and this is a catch-22 here. Joe didn't have a parking lot on this side. Joe needed more parking, and the first time I ever pulled in this gym, I was in my pickup truck, which was spotless, and I had to pull in the gravel. Joe's always drove nice vehicles. And so I'm sure it bothered you too, Joe.
The original parking lot, I don't think it would hold like 12 cars.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Not your big cars.
And then you had to pull over in the gravel and the grass. And if it rained, yep, there was mud.
So what I told him, I said, Joe, I think it'd be real cool if you took this old equipment that you got and let's build a outdoor gym. And Joe listened, and Joe was never argumentative or anything. And he's like, you're right. And so, but then Joe calls me, he's like, I'm asphalting the whole parking lot. I'm like, you're what? And because I knew this was a big, and it was what, Joe, 3 times what you thought it was gonna cost. Something like that.
Yeah. It was well over double.
Yeah.
Well over double.
So,
yeah, how about shit?
Yeah, at that point, I said to Joe, I'm like, Joe, I think this would be really cool. And so what you're about to see now was not just my idea. Joe really had to implement this, and I think it's freaking killer.
And what we did, we kind of had to measure it off. So all this, if you come out here, all this parking lot here, from here all the way down to the road was damn dirt and grass and gravel. So all that was paved. So we paved all this.
And just so everybody knows, on the day we were installing everything, the asphalt had just been poured, days prior?
They just finished pouring it 4 days.
All this was implemented like really, really fast. When I tell you, I want to give him props, not only because he's my friend, but when I give somebody an idea, sometimes it takes months or years for them to implement. Joe, instantly had shit done. This awning started, it was only half, and you can explain, Joe.
Yeah, when we very first started, the awning only came out to here. So this was completely open in the sun, which was awesome, but these pads would get so damn hot. I had a couple of people come in there like, man, I was like, I had to put a towel down, so I did have to get a couple sides.
Joe, it's so cool.
So, and then I was like, damn, all my equipment rusting. So I called my guys up and I was like, let's see what we can do about extending it all the way to the fence, because the fence was right here. But yeah, what Steve was talking about, and like I mentioned, we closed April 1st. Started cleaning that day. That Monday, 2 days later, I had 7 crews here working. I had my plumber, my contractor, my electrician. They were out here grading, moving dirt. My fence guy, he was coming out here, he was marking and measuring. These guys came out and marked and measured. But yeah, it was wild. So all this equipment that's out here, some of it's over 35 years old.
And I want to stress this to everybody. This is why I said, Joe, I want to do this. Some of the pieces out here, I would have loved to have had, and because of the gym, I would have never sold them. Not only because he's my friend, but I like to collect. If you turn around right here, some of these pieces, this Nautilus old school piece, this bicep, what I tell you, Joe, I said there's a couple things you can't sell.
Yeah, the Nautilus ISO curl, people love it. Shit, I love that.
I know, it's amazing.
This is the old lat pullover.
Phenomenal.
If people have ever seen the Dorian Yates Blood and Guts video, this is the machine he uses.
And we've made reels on these cams, the old school, and this is old. But functions perfect.
And like that shoulder press and side lateral, that's old school Nautilus too. People love that one. Old school Nautilus line leg curl.
But even this dip is good. I mean, there's so many good things. And this is what I want everybody, if they're watching this video, to always think outside the box, because I'm only here to assist. And Joe, once I told him the little vision that I had, Joe implemented. Joe's idea was the awning and all this stuff. If you film up here, this is a huge heater that Joe didn't even tell me that he was gonna do. And it turns on, Joe, at how cold?
Like 50 degrees.
Okay,
They come on and they heat up.
And it's just enough to keep it just warm enough out here to train in the winter. And I want to stress that to people. These are very good things that people really like for their gyms, that is just an add-on feature. But I think, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, Joe, this is what's made the gym very successful, is Joe implemented these things. Joe started off, almost every day Joe would call me and Joe would say, Steven, I've done 3 members, 6 members, and this was going on for a while. This gym now, a year later, is what I call very successful. And not only am I happy for Joe, I want to let everybody know it's very doable that you can build this. Joe, talk about your numbers a little bit, and you don't have to talk about the money.
Well, like Steven was talking about, when we started, I knew we needed fans because we were just getting started last spring. It was gonna be, hot as hell out here. So we put a couple fans up, move air around, and somebody was like, what are you gonna do in the winter? I was like, shit, I don't know. So studied on it, called a buddy. He's like, I think I got heaters that'll work. So we got the heaters in, 2 30-foot heaters. Those are 125,000 BTU each. So they'll put out good heat. So it's not gonna make it all nice and summertime out here, but it feels good. It'll knock the chill off.
Yeah.
I put the curtains up to stop the wind coming through.
Or to hold in
the
heat.
winter. Yep, and help hold the heat in. Stuff like this, you better get your damn checkbook out.
Yeah.
That literally costs 4 times more than I anticipated. But as far as members, I'll say when I took over the gym, we did a head count, annuals, monthlies, even dailies. Up to that last month, I think we're at 142 members.
Joe had, everything was handwritten, and I, with him, went through the numbers, and I counted 96 paying members from the month before. And Joe said that probably 40-some, 50 had not paid. So go ahead, Joe, keep going.
So total was like 142. I was like, holy shit.
And just so everybody knows, that would be very not profitable.
No, you're damn starved. I mean, unless you're charging $100 for a membership, it's not going to happen. And like I said, I've had ideas of rates and this, that, and the other, and Steven gave me shit for months and months and months. Because I was like, I'm going to do 20, I'm going to do $25 a month. He's like,
you're
Joe,
crazy.
You're fucking stupid. I was like, what? He said, no, you're stupid.
I told him if he fucking makes it nice like this, if he wants to cookie cutter it, charge $20. If he wants to make it nice, guys, this was hundreds of thousands of dollars to do this, first of all. Secondly, this was one of the deals that I knew if you put a good product out, people would come. So go ahead, Joe.
With our rates, they're obviously more than the 20, 25, but we offer more than any gym around. We have the outside gym, we have infrared saunas in the locker rooms, we got clean showers. Shit, I'm the only gym around with a standby generator, so if the power goes out in the whole town, you can still come here and work out.
And opening 365 is huge deal. Huge.
We are open 24/7, 365. Getting back to what I was saying, we had started with 142 members. I checked my log this morning. I think we had 3 signups yesterday. I think actually we're at like 674 members in 10 and a half months.
And guys, just so everybody knows, I talked to Joe at least on a weekly basis, whether it's through text or call, and close to 700 members in 10 months for a gym in the, I don't want to say in the middle of nowhere, but
it's in a smaller town.
It is
growing. I mean, that's the thing. Shit, they've got like contracts for like 7,000 houses to be built within a 20-mile radius. So,
but Joe has not only exceeded my expectations, but he continually improves the gym. When he first opened, every month he was at my facility. It could be getting more plates. It could be getting something that's a few $100s, not even expensive. Joe constantly, the Arsenal pendulum, this lateral. He constantly invested into this gym, and that's what I always tell people is the key to keep growing the basis of the gym. And Joe's not going to stop. He's going to continue putting stuff in.
No, and we got more goodies coming this year.
And the numbers reflect it. So that's what I always tell people. It's like, I don't want you just to listen to me. Listen to not only my friend, but somebody who implemented. I can't guarantee success. You could build a multi-million-dollar gym and the people don't come.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, and tell them one more thing, Joe, before we go on to something else. This man is here working every day.
Yes.
Not only is he working, but every person's greeted. I've heard him on the phone. Hi and bye is very important in the gym business, and he treats his people good. So
you have to have a personable level with people. I worked in like retail, gas stations and stuff, family-owned businesses for almost 30 years. If you can't converse with somebody, I mean, you're kind of screwing yourself. And if you want to make a gym or virtually any business, I think at least the first year you got to put your time in. As an owner, even if you're just a hired-on manager, you got to put that extra time in. Shit, when we were redoing this place, there were like 3 nights, I don't even remember driving home. I'd wake up the next day and not know how I got home. I was so tired. I'd work from 7 in the morning till 3 the next morning, drive home, then be back here at 7 in the morning, working again. So there, literally, no shit, there was 3 days I don't even remember how I got home. I just woke up.
And just so everybody knows, during this time period, he's stressing the shit out of me. Almost daily calling me with another problem. And it really had nothing to do with me. I think it was partly we're friends and partly where he literally needed to hear, Joe, calm down. Everything's gonna be okay. And at that point,
I needed somebody that's been through this shit.
Yeah.
They'd tell me what to do if it went south.
Exactly. Because he was seriously worried about that. And I kept telling him, I'm like, Joe, if you build the product, I promise you they're gonna come. A lot of people set themselves up, they don't have high expectations because they believe deep that they can do it, but they're scared to do it. Yeah. And now I want to see, this is why I wanted to showcase his, because it's a gym that was here for 30 years?
25.
Okay, 25 years.
He opened in 95, so he was just a year and a half shy of 30.
Yeah. So you can do this, and it's not brain science, but you got to put the blood, sweat, and tears in it, and this man's done it. So at this point, we're going to go do a little training and show off some of my favorite pieces in Joe's gym. There'll be old school pieces, new pieces, and then, but the biggest thing I want to do is say thank you to Joe for letting us come. Thank you for letting me set this gym up for you, because you're not only a friend, but a brother.
Yes, sir. Couldn't have done it without you, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely, man. This part of the video, we want to showcase just a few cool pieces in Joe's gym. And this piece in particular is what I call a high pull, old school Nautilus bicep. It is one of my favorites. Joe, if you'll demonstrate this bicep.
Steven, you've been on this thing? I know you're stronger than this. You've been it's old Nautilus and ISO curl.
Old cams, chain driven. I love the sound of these machines. This is a piece right when I walked in, I told Joe you can't sell. Absolutely phenomenal. And to be literally, what do you say, Joe, 40 plus years old?
I'd say every bit of 40.
Yeah.
Every bit of 40, yeah.
It is amazing that these pretty much never break and are bulletproof.
We just lube it up, clean them.
If it lasts outside, it'll last anywhere.
Oh yeah. And it seems a little dim out here. We've got a photo cell. Like at night, it lights up out here.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's literally like daylight out here at 3 o'clock in the morning. This old school Nautilus shoulder press, side lateral. This used to be one of my favorites 20 years ago when I'd come here. Joel, the previous owner, showed me how to do this. And to do it, you do like an inverted grip.
Correct.
You got to push it up and then turn backwards to really hit the top of that shoulder.
And Daniel, if you'll film these cams moving, the engineering from back then, it just what intrigues me is absolutely amazing. They just literally don't build them like this no more.
That thing is super smooth. This next one here is pretty awesome. This is what we were talking about earlier. This is an old Nautilus pullover.
And guys, when I say old, this one's really old. Like, I mean, I'm just kidding the candy store today because I love this shit like this.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Was in Dorian's Blood and Guts video, his old pullover machine.
And this old school machine, Joe back in the day had probably one of the biggest backs on stage, I would say. And I know, Joe, you were using this.
Oh yeah, this and dumbbell pullovers, but a lot of this.
There's a lot of cool pieces here, but we're gonna showcase two of more our newer school pieces, but still old school. This is the Pit Shark. One of my favorite belt squats. I had knee replacement 4 years ago, and for me, takes all the emphasis off my lower back. And Joe, go ahead and demonstrate.
Yeah, this thing's awesome. This is honestly a great selling piece for anybody that wants to work their legs, that has back or shoulders or even hip issues, because it pulls right on the girdle. It doesn't affect your spine or shoulders or anything.
And Joe's been through some shit, so when I tell you that this is a great machine for me and him.
Yeah, yep. You just want to sit right down into it and just stand up.
And back in the day, Joe had some of the biggest quads probably on stage, wouldn't you say, Joe?
They were about 32 on stage.
Yeah, so 32 inches. Now, so mine were like that in the all season, it would shrink to probably, I don't even know, 27, 28. So 32 is ridiculous.
But yeah, this thing's super smooth.
The last piece that we're gonna showcase here is a piece that they're no longer making, the Cybex squat press. I absolutely love it. So Joe, if you'll demonstrate this.
Yeah, the only single drawback to this one
Getting in.
is getting in, yeah, if you got long legs. You get up, I always get my heels at the bottom. This is the only press. I put my feet low. The regular leg press, I always put my feet high, so there's no pressure on the knees.
And that cantilever movement is, to me, not very much stress on the knees. What would you say?
There's none.
Yeah, exactly.
No, this is like direct quad.
Take it from a man who's had 6 knee surgeries and played college football.
It's been a pleasure to tour my buddy's gym that we set up almost a year ago. Joe, if you'll tell everybody where you're located and where they can find you.
Awesome. Yeah, if you will check us on the web, www.genesisfitness247.com. Like us, follow us on Facebook, Genesis Fitness, Instagram, Genesis Fitness 247. We are located in Statesville. Our address is 617 Signal Hill Drive Extension. Our phone number is 704-881-0191. We are staffed 7 days a week, so come see us.
Guys, I appreciate you guys following us through the gym. It's been a pleasure for me to set this up for my buddy. And if you will like and subscribe to the channel, we will see you on the next one.